Hi, I'm Greg,
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
and today we're going to talk about Nike, the most popular shoe company in sports. So Nike dominates the athletic footwear market. They're the current leader. They have, for years, the United States-based company has been far ahead of its competitors such as Adidas, Under Armour, and Reebok, and other said companies. They've maintained about 70% of the athletic footwear market through their Nike, Jordan, and Converse brands. They're most dominant in basketball in the NBA with 93% share, then the NFL with 90%, and the MLB with 87%. Part of how they do it is through the athletes they sponsor. They have the longest list of athletes who they sponsor. They also sign highly influential athletes at the top of their respective sports, such as Kobe Bryant, Derek Jeter, LeBron James, players like Odell Beckham Jr. in football, and more, who continue to influence younger players to continue wearing the brand.
Taking a look at professional football specifically, we were able to determine, as Greg said, that 90% of players in the NFL wore Nike cleats in 2015. That is about a 60% increase compared to 2001, where only 30% of NFL players were wearing Nike cleats. The highest paid football player in the NFL under Nike is currently Richard Sherman, who pulled in approximately $8 million per year last year. As you can see in the picture on the right, Richard Sherman has his own shoe line, which is called the Nike Lunar TR1, which just hit stores this past season. Other notable NFL players under Nike include Super Bowl ring champion Peyton Manning, Defensive Player of the Year J.J. Watt, and the Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski. So taking a little bit look closer at the NFL and just in the specific teams that are under the league, you can see that the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts have the highest representation in the NFL, with 98% of their players wearing Nike cleats. On the bottom end of the NFL, you can see that the Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are the lowest teams at 78%.
Alright, so I'm going to talk about how we use the craft principles to make this infograph. And starting with the contrast, we chose to use a dark red and purple color scheme because they're next to each other on the color wheel, so they're very pleasing when they go together. And then we used white text so it would clearly reflect off of that. And then in the top, when we had the white background, we used the dark purple once again so you can see it clearly. And since these colors are next to each other on the color wheel, we knew that would be a problem for the colorblind people, so we decided to use a white divide down the middle to clearly separate the information. And as far as repetition goes, we didn't repeat any information, but we were very repetitive in the display that we chose. As you can see with the 8 boxes down here, they're all very similar, especially with just like the NBA, NFL, and MLB corresponding with the percentages, but we thought that would be very easy to look at a simple glance and understand what we're trying to say. For alignment, we chose to use these dotted lines to sort of bring the eyes across the page, so you can look at the NBA and then lead to the 93% that uses the footwear. And we decided to put the logo on top of the dotted line because it's obviously more important than just a dotted line, and without it there, it would just look pretty bland and you wouldn't really get a recognition of what we were talking about. And then we also decided to center all of our text because we kind of have a boxy look with the infograph, and we didn't want to lopside it to one side or another and have a huge open space left. And for proximity, we starting with looking at the title. Since it's the most important thing, we left it by itself and didn't have too much commotion going on around it, so you could easily read that says Nike Leader in Pro Sports Footwear. And then for the subtitle beneath it, it's sort of the least important thing on our infograph. It's more just a filler, so it's in the smaller text. And then as far as these percentages goes, they are just as important as the title, basically. So we have them as big down below and right next to their logo, so you can tell what you're talking about. And we also separated the categories pretty easily, so you can look at it at one short glance. And that sums up our topic, and thank you for listening.